Hello and welcome to this episode of T-Tech. This is part 3 of 3 in our series to configure FreeBSD as a firewall. And in this part, we are going to verify that we have connectivity through the firewall. So, first, I have a client booted up here, and it is on the same network as our firewall's LAN interface. So let's see, first of all, if they have gotten their IP address from the DHCP server we set up on the firewall. And this client has 192.168.1.100, so we are great there. Let's look at the client's routing table to make sure it got the right default gateway. Oops. Let's actually make sure we look at the IPv4 routing table. Okay, as you see, it says default 192.168.1.1, and it is out of EM0. So any traffic will go out of EM0 to the default gateway. So that option worked great. Now what we're going to do is ping the gateway's IP address, 192.168.1.1. Before we do, though, we're going to introduce a little bit of a Swiss Army knife of debugging here. We're going to use TCP dump. Now we're going to use TCP dumps -n to not resolve the NS names, and I to select the interface we want to use. And this is from the firewall itself. And we're going to look for EM0, that's what we're going to get the traffic off of. And we're going to filter ICMP because we're dealing with pings in this case. So that starts our log on that. And if we start our pings, let's actually modify this to do TechN2, to only do 2. Whoops. It's TechC rather. To do 2 pings, alright. And now we see both of the packet coming from the client to the firewall, and then the firewall here is replying, and then same thing down below. So that does verify that layers 1 through 3 are functioning, and that the firewall is getting the traffic. So other than that, we are going to verify that we can ping past the firewall. So let's ping Google, and we'll also test DNS at this point too, because we have to resolve Google's IP address. So there we go, there's 2 pings, and we're going to examine the output. We have the 192.168.1.100 as the source. It's an ICMP echo request going to 172.278.206, and a little bit later we see an echo reply coming from 172.278.206. So Google replying back to this client, and then that's going to 192.168.1.100. Now, something crucial in understanding completely about how that NAT we set up works is to do that. We're going to look at the WAN side, and I want to show how this address changes, because remember EM0 is the LAN, the 192.168.1.1, but if we look at EM1, that's the 192.168.0.25. So let's look at that with the TCP dump, looking at ICMP while we send those same packets. Oh, look at that. So now we're getting the echo requests coming in, but on EM1, when they're being routed out of EM1, because the default static route, the source is 192.168.0.25, destined to 216.58 to 1678. And then when it comes back, it's destined to what? 192.168.0.25. Alright? That's what I meant about the NAT reversing as it comes back. So that is the beautiful thing there, and that's how the NAT is working. And what will, that is how it's all working out for us. What we'll do now is just do a basic, we'll do an iperf test. So we'll do iperf, we want to download, so we'll -r it, -c, and then we'll do iperf.he.net, and do 300 seconds just so it's easier to demonstrate. And it's connected, and now it's sending traffic. And we actually need to change this filter because that's not ICMP. Now we'll start on EM0. So now you see all the traffic coming through the firewall here, being routed to from of course 100, 4464 is the port, destined to the creators there, and 5001. Then it's coming back from the server, and then the NAT is doing the same thing. It's rewriting those IPs. EM1, you just want to drive the point home, regardless if it's ICMP, TCP, UDP, whatever. It is changing this now to 192.168.0.25 and changing the port number as well, but that gets changed back as it reverses the translation. But with all of that, this does verify that we have full connectivity. I just wanted to show that this fully works, and I think a live demo like this really brings this to life and makes it make so much more sense. So again, this was part 3 of 3 in our series to set up to configure FreeBSD as a firewall. So with all of that, I'm Tyler with TTech. I really hope you enjoyed this series, and have a nice day.